All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live stream where we're diving into, as the title suggests, the concept of paging our result set. So if you're not familiar with what paging is, I'm sure you are, but maybe you're just not familiar with the terminology. Paging is the concept of filtering the data set to only return a subset of the full data set, sort of one chunk at a time. So it's all about chunking the data set, if you will. So for example, in the sort of Professo platform that I have here, this is my courseware platform, the results that we get back are not paged. In other words, in the case of this local code base that I'm running, it returns whatever, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, and 47. So it returns 47 results, which could be quite a bit. Well, which is quite a bit, right? And if I had 2,000 courses, well, it would return 2,000 all on the same screen. That leads to performance issues because loading 2,000 elements on a screen, it could take a while, it could eat up a lot of memory, there's a whole bunch of issues that come from just trying to load and display way too much information. Plus, it's not very useful to us human beings. We can't really do much with 2,000 of anything or 10,000 or arbitrarily pick your large number. So the point here is we want to page the results, which means we want to split it up into chunks. So instead of returning 47 results all at once, maybe we return 10 results, and then you can click next and see the next 10 results. And then you can click next and see the next 10 results until you've gone through all 40 whatever results. So that is the idea of paging. So paging, the concept here is twofold. The first aspect that there is to paging is the data coming in from your database. That's the first step. In my opinion, that's the first step of what you need to handle. The second step is you need some sort of a UI on the front end in the HTML code of your web app to dictate which page you want to see, right? So it's twofold. There's a front end aspect and a back end aspect. In this video, we're going to be diving into the back end aspect of it. And if there's time, we can also tackle a little bit of the front end stuff. So let's get going. We're going to be talking about paging and how to implement that with Spring Data specifically. Spring Data does a lot of the heavy lifting for us, which is wonderful. So as we have, talked about in previous lessons or whatever of these live series tutorials, we have discovered that there is inside of our code base a request mapping route path here. So this is the code that is executed when we visit the root, just the empty domain name, if you will. So if you went to professo.com, this is where the code would execute. Or if you go to, for instance, localhost 8080 and nothing else, and you just say go, the code will go into here and execute this stuff right here. So this is where we want to start the process of bringing in the concept of paging, because I'm assuming somewhere down the line here, we will populate our model with all of the offers. And I can already see one spot there. So first quick little, I know my sound is quiet because I'm using this good microphone. It's at max. I know, it's annoying. Unfortunately, you just need to sort of crank your speakers. I can't turn the microphone up anymore unless I switch to a horrible microphone, and then you're going to pick up all the background noise and stuff, and that's not a good experience. So, for quick review, Spring MVC I want to talk about first before we get into the paging stuff, because you might not be familiar with what MVC means. MVC's Model View Controller, and that really is just the concept of allowing the front end, the HTML code, to talk to the server side, the Java code. So there's a glue that glues together the front end and the server side, and that is called Spring MVC in this case. So the model is essentially just a hash map. It's just a fancy hash map. That's all it really is. Keys and values, that's all it stores. And what that does is the model, the keys and values stored on the model, get sent from Java to the front end, the HTML code. And the HTML code can then decipher what's inside of that hash map and use it. So you're just passing data back and forth between the front end, the HTML, and the server side. So the model is what we care about because the model is what houses, in this case, the offers that are being displayed, because these guys right here are called offers. Each one of these boxes with images, these are all offers. So there is a collection of offers that are being displayed on the page. The problem is the offers that we are loading are not being paged. We're just getting all offers. So where do we get these offers? So it depends on a few things. So let's go through our code flow right here. Let me start this up in debug mode. Let me go to my debug view. Let me just delete all the breakpoints that we have and put one in so that we don't pause where we don't want to pause, and then I can start up my code or my server. Oh, let's fire it up. And from here, we should be able to see exactly which part of the code it flows into. Restart. Wait. Need to wait for the server to start up. Waiting. There we go. Now I can restart. And it hits my breakpoint. So let's see. Where does it go? So it goes into this code. So it says find all active offers. This is a method that we dove into in a previous live stream to improve the performance. So that is that's what's loading up all of our offers. So this is essentially where we want to do the coding enhancements, the upgrades to make it, instead of return a set of offers, essentially we want a pageable, I believe is the object, but we'll get in there. So yeah, this is the code that we're going to be looking at today. So let me look at find all active offers. And what we have is, inside of here, when I click on it to inspect this method, we see that it's part of an offer repository, which extends something called JPA repository. So that's pretty normal when it comes to Spring Data JPA, which allows us to essentially, it's the opposite of Spring MVC. It allows us to glue the server side to the database. How do you talk between a server side, like the Java code, and a database? So you need to glue it together using something called an ORM, an Object Relational Mapping System, or whatever it stands for. In this case, we're using Spring Data JPA. Anyway, it allows us to do CRUD, creating, reading, updating, and deleting of data, which is very common when you're talking about web applications in general, or really any application. It comes down to creating, reading, updating, and deleting data. That's all we really do as programmers, is those four things. So yeah, this is the glue that glues the server side, the Java code, to the database. And in this one, we're doing a query. So we're saying, hey, give us all this information regarding or related to offers and courses and stuff like that. But to augment our code here such that it returns a pageable object back, so a paged result set, my buddies over at, however you pronounce this, Baldung, great articles that these guys write. So they have a wonderful article, but I'm more of a visual person, so the articles are great, but I like to see it in action, which is why I'm recording this video. So they have an example of where they have products, right? Product is their entity, whereas in this case, the entity that we're dealing with is the offer entity, right? We have an entity here called offer. They have an entity called product. Let me zoom in a little bit so that gets to be bigger text for you guys. So yeah, they have an entity called product, and a product therefore should have a product repository, right? Just like our offer has an offer repository. Okay, so far so good. The difference is the product repository here extends paging and sorting repository, whereas ours extends JPA repository. So in other words, we need to make this essentially extend something different. Now, I haven't tested this code yet. I haven't gone in and done anything with this, because that's the whole point of these live streams, is you're going to see me do it in real time and struggle as this is essentially what I would be doing on any given day if I were to sit down and try to, augment this code and enhance it, this is exactly what I would be doing, only I obviously wouldn't be talking to myself as much as I'm talking into this microphone. So first thing I'll try is let's just try to switch it. Instead of being a JPA repository, let's make it a paging and sorting. Paging, I'm going to hit Control Enter, or Control Space to see if it'll complete it for me, and there you go. So it completed it to be paging and sorting repository. So if I just do that and save it, does anything change? Everything seems okay. I have no compilation errors. Let me just see if I can restart my server and see if it behaves normally. Oh, there is a problem. Hold on. Wait, what did that say? Errors exist. But there's no... Oh. What is this? Save helper. So clearly it broke something. What is this? Image processing service? Image crop to file... Image processing service? I think this is just a weird bug. I think it just bugged out on me. Oh, I see. We're passing in and off a repository, so it's probably... Okay, I see. That's not a bug. So if I go into this method, the definition of this method, it's expecting a JPA repository here. So I need to look at what the this paging and sorting repository is. Let me control click on it. Hey, big Leo. I'm starting to see his name over and over again. So paging and sorting repository extends CRUD repository. Now, CRUD repository extends repository, which extends whatever. So unfortunately, the paging and sorting repository does not extend the JPA repository. So this is going to make this a little bit tricky because it looks like this code is somewhat dynamic. So I might be tempted to just turn this into a paging and sorting repository instead of JPA repository, but then I don't know if it's going to break other things. So let's see if it causes more problems than it solves. It does not. So it looks like it's good. So now let's check out the save help. Now this one I know is called by a lot of places, this save helper. So shoot, how am I going to do this? So the save helper, what does this need? It needs a repository. Could I maybe, you know what I could do here? I might be able to get away with, so how can I draw this as a little diagram for you guys to explain what's going on in my head? So there's the paging and sorting repository, which inherits from CRUD repository. So in other words, the parent, I don't want to say class, the parent interface, if you will, is the CRUD repository interface. Then there's a JPA repository, which is the one that we always use. At least I always use, right? That's the most default, easiest to use, and what's the word? Not ambiguous. What's the word for ubiquitous? Ubiquitous use when it comes to Spring Data JPA. You use this guy. This guy also inherits from CRUD repository. Okay? So in other words, there's a common parent here, and that is CRUD repository is the common parent. And I believe inside of the CRUD repository, that's where we define the save method, which is what is being used here. So I think we can get away with using the parent type, which instead of JPA repository, we can use CRUD repository. That's my guess. Let me click save and see if I get rid of my error. Nice. So the error goes away. Doesn't mean that we solved the problem because we still need to test. So that's the most important thing, is that we test our code here. Never just rely on the compiler. So let me go ahead and run my code, or run my server. I'm getting some Slack messages off screen here. Let me just make sure there's no fires. Okay. Sorry, I'm being distracted. So, we have it running. So let's go in here and let's refresh. So first things first, let's make sure it loads, right? Okay, cool. It loads. That's a good sign that things are not broken. Obviously, we haven't paged anything. There's no paging going on yet because we haven't done anything. to do the paging. If I click on like one of the offers, does it load properly? I'm just sort of, poking my head around here and seeing if there's any obvious errors. Seems to be okay. Although I don't think I've leveraged, or I don't think I've hit the method with that CRUD repository change that we made. So that's something I'll need to test later, but I'll do that later. I don't want to waste time here with you guys. Let's see. So, good start. A good start so far. So we've got this paging repository. So we've turned our offer repository, which used to be a JPA repository, and now is a paging and sorting repository, such that it mimics the code that we have from this article here, where we have it extending the paging and sorting repository. So now how do we do this? How do we use it? Well, there's essentially an overridden version of the find methods that we can use inside of the repository that take a pageable object. Okay, so that's the magic and the beauty here of what we can do. So when we say find all active offers, I believe we can say pageable. Pageable. Although I thought, do you need to give a type to this or a generic? We'll see. So we import pageable from Spring framework .data.domain. In other words, Spring data. Save it. Any problems? Yes, there's a problem. Let me stop my server. Oh, it looked like there was a problem. Okay. Clean and build. So far, so good. Come on. Build faster. Looks like we're okay, though. There's no problems popping up. Oh, there we go. I knew there was something fishy there. So, find all active. Right, so of course. So wherever we are calling this method now, the find all active offers method, whenever we call it, like we saw before when I had my breakpoint and we were iterating through this code, this now has changed. The method signature has changed. It now expects a pageable object, right? To be passed inside of it. We need to pass in a pageable object. So what is this pageable object? Well, that's where he goes on to describe what the pageable object is. So you can do a page request .of. So you could do a static method call, and there's got to be some explanation as to what these mean. So we can create a page request, okay, via the page request.of. Hopefully, he might be using a more up-to-date version of Spring Data JPAs, but let's see what I can do. So page request dot, yeah, see, we don't have the static method. That's what I was worried about. So in the article, at least, let me just confirm that. Let me just do like 02 and see. Yeah, it says, what are you talking about here? So in this article, he's using a more up-to-date version of the Spring Data JPA package, or what do you call it? Technology framework. There we go. So, first curveball. How do we solve this? One thing is to say, oh, let's just upgrade our Spring Data JPA version, which, yes, that is absolutely a good idea. However, that's a bit of a bazooka, move, killing an ant with a bazooka type of thing. That's maybe not the greatest analogy, because it's a good idea to keep your code base up to date. The problem with just updating to the latest version of Spring Data JPA is that when I update that, I should probably update everything. In other words, I should switch the base version of Spring Boot. So Spring Boot is what I use to be able to get up and running quickly with a Java web application. So when you upgrade Spring Boot, it upgrades all the technologies around. And really what it does is you want to make sure that you really test all the aspects of your application when you upgrade the version of Spring Boot, because it will impact almost all aspects of your application. So that's a bit of a longer, bigger solution. That's if you had a lot more time on your hands, and I might have another 20 minutes here. So let me see if I can create a pageable object. So let's look at pageable. I'm going to hit F4 with it selected, and that's going to show me sort of what inherits from pageable, and looks like abstract page request, and more specifically a page request. So there's a page request object that I can probably instantiate. So I can say pageable you know, page equals new page request. Okay. So there you go, page and size. So essentially the article here with page request.of and then 02, this is really just a bit of a, what's the word? I don't know if it's called like a utility method. I don't know what the specific word is that is applied to this. It's just a more, it's a convenience method essentially is what it is. It's a convenience method that becomes a shorthand. It's like a, because as coders we're lazy. We want to write less code if we can get away with it. So this is just a shorter way to say page request.of is a shorter way than saying pageable page equals new page request with then the page and the size. Because here is the page and here is the size. So in other words, what page do we want to load? Page 0 represents the first page. And what is the size of the data set that we want to return? So this goes back to, do we still have it open here? Can we look at it? Yes. In other words, how many elements here, how many data, how many rows of data do we want to return? So for this, let's say I want to return, I don't know, 8 for the sake of argument. Let's just do 8. So if we say page request 0 and 8, and then pass this object in here, okay, and we'll sort of do the same thing. We'll cut out this page request object. We'll paste it further up so that it can be used throughout this whole thing. And we'll pass this page into the other method that calls it. So we'll pass it in there as well. So that will solve our compilation issues. And then that might just work. If all goes well, that might just work. So let's reboot our server. Factory method, thank you. It's called the factory method. Although I'd argue that it's a convenience method. Does this, it could be, you know, I think you're right. I think it's a factory method because it creates, it probably instantiates a page request and delivers it to here, right? So this code will create a new instantiation of that object with the appropriate properties that we've specified injected into it and return it. So that is by definition a factory method. So good call. Oh, so look at this. Shoot. It's never as easy as you want it to be, right? So we have some console errors. Let's maximize our console. Method has to have one of the following return types. Oh, I think I remember what I did wrong. Inside of our repository, we return a set of offer objects. However, if you look at the code here, the example code, oh no, I thought it returned. So wait, what's going wrong? What am I doing? Error creating bean offer repository. Method has to have one of the following return types. Interface. Oh, I can't handle a set. It has to be a list. Is that what it's telling me? That is what they have here. They have a list, or he has a list. Can it not handle a set? That's a little... that's not ideal. Are you serious? Because I need to do a set because it's going to have a lot of duplicates in it. Method has to have one of the following return types. Spring framework data domain slice. Interface page or util list. Are you serious? So Spring data JPA pagination set. Limit and offset, apply sorting. Let's use Google. I'm using Ecosia here or whatever to it plants trees when I search for things, so I like to plant trees, so but let's go to good old Google and see if it has better hits here. Set collection maybe is a better hint of the word set is what I want. If you want to access the next set of subsequent pages. Show me. So this is returning a page of employee. Let me try doing that. Let me try returning a page of something. Because if we do a page of it, what does that then imply that we have to do? So there's more that we have to do, I assume, when we get a page of something back. So instead of saying a set of offer objects, let's do a page of offer objects. But again, does that mean it's going to be whatchamacallit? Unique? Let's see. So instead of a set of offers, it's returning a page of offers. And the page, I'm going to do Control-Shift-O to import. It comes from Spring Framework data. Change return type to page and then map to list or set. My issue is if it returns a page of data and that page contains duplicates and then I map it to a set, am I going to then not get back all 20 or 8, how did I say? 8. All 8 objects, all 8 rows of data. Because if all 8 rows of data are duplicates and then I map it to a set, I'm essentially only going to get one result back, is what I'm worried about. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what this does. So let's say all, or rather down here is where our current code base is looking, or our current use case or whatever, test case is hitting. So let's look at the page of offers. So let's say all offers, because that's the name of the variable, dot. Let's see what we can do. For each, get content. So get content gets a list. Get number of elements, get total elements, map. Yeah, you can convert it to a set. I'm assuming yeah, this is a so the item is just an offer. That's if I want it map. That's if I want to map it to something else, though. I don't want to map it to something else. Can I just say stream or no? Because this is not going to be what I want. I don't think. Because get content just returns a list, right? So this is list, and then if I said, set of offers, is a unique offers equals new hash set or it'd have to be a sorted set, I think, because I think I use sorted sets, and then I pass in a list. Is it not sorted set? I guess sorted set is an interface. I need to see what sorted key set, persistent sorted set. Is that what we use? Element set. I guess it's a tree set is what I use. Let's try that. Because a tree set has order or maintains order. Because I want these. I think the offer implements comparable. No, it doesn't. I guess I don't have these sorted, so it doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, let's just do a tree set and assign it there, and then say unique offers will be passed into ratings, and this will return unique offers instead of all offers, and we will let's see, right? My hypothesis for this, all right, this needs to be the same. I'm copy pasting the code here. Both of these should just call a method that does the same thing. So I'm actually let me extract this into let me refactor this code. I'm going to select this code, right click on it and say refactor, and I'm going to extract a method from it. Let's see if it can do this. So we're essentially, this method that we're about to create, the purpose of this method that it's going to turn this code into is to just populate the model with ratings and offers. So populate model, we'll just call it populate model. I think that's a good name because I don't think there's another one that does that. Yeah. And then we can just do the same thing because both of these, this set of code or whatever, they both do the same thing, right? So we'll just say populate model for both, which will then go in and say find all active offers. So yeah, this is our code that I selected. It just extracted it into its own method, and now we don't have to have duplicated code. Okay, so let's fire up our server, and let me read the comments now. You were awesome. Yesterday came across you on YouTube looking for how to make an application in Java. I am at the beginning. I like your content. Yeah, so if you're at the beginning right now, this is way, way too advanced. But hey, welcome anyway. Yes, get content returns list. Yeah, okay. Query specified join fetching, but the owner of the fetches, oh my god, association was not present in the select list. Oh my goodness. What have I done? Query specified the fetching. So it's related to offer repository. Count query validation failed for method public abstract. So it's our find all active offers method that it's not happy with. So it's not happy because the query specified join fetching, but the owner of the fetch association was not present in the select list. In other words, the offer was not there. Courses? But the owner of the fetch association was not present. Well, this is a brand new one for me. So basically, whenever I hit an error that, I mean, I might have an idea of how to solve this, but I don't want to waste time here. So really, as a coder, what I would do, copy, select the exception. So go down to the bottom of the stack trace. This is called a stack trace. It has a lot of different errors. You go to the bottom, you go to the last caused by, because that's the most, usually this is where the actual root cause of the issue is. And you copy the exception text that is generic. So in other words, I selected all the way here because the rest, well, it is still somewhat generic, but the rest of it will refer to code that is specific to my application. So let me just do this. Let me Google here, caused by blah, 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 and we'll see if we can find, okay, look at this. The problem is, if you're returning a list, you lost your page, then get the data. Sorry, that's not, I don't follow what you're saying, but maybe we'll see the explanation here. Use regular join instead of join fetch. Okay. As you need the join fetch, removing the fetch won't meet your need. What you should do instead is specify a count query together with it. Oh man, I don't want to have to count. So is this the whole point of the counts are off because I'm turning it into a set? The problem is if you're returning a list, you lost your page. Oh, different your. Okay, not you are, but the page that belongs to me. Yeah, exactly, right? So that's, interesting. Okay, they have a count query. Okay, actually, that's interesting. Because I want to do the join fetch, but I want the count to include a unique. I want to have it be a unique value for offer. The question is, will it even know how to do a unique? Let's try this. Let's see if that works. I've never seen this before. Again, this is what you get, right? I did not do any preparation work on purpose. So I'm coming into this completely green. So this is what you get. So when I do find all active offers, we have a query here, but they're saying that there's another thing that we can use here, which is count query. So let me say value equals and count query equals. Okay. So because I don't want to get into how to use annotations properly with the special value key here, but anyway. So what they're saying is you have to specify a count query, essentially, I'm assuming. If your need is to get chunks of data, you need to use page. Otherwise, you don't need it. Yes, the point is I don't want to get chunks of data here. But I think I can only imagine the problem is based off of the fact that I'm casting this to a set, and then it doesn't know what's going on. So if I say count O, which means count the offers, right? Yeah, count the offers, but I want the offers to be distinct. So how do you do distinct again? Because I want to say distinct, essentially o.id, right, to represent the offer ID, because it's distinct based on the offer.id. I can't remember if that's how you do it in Spring, or rather in JPQL, Java persistence querying language. Is that what it stands for? This might give me a SQL syntax error. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see. Unexpected token, yeah. So maybe the distinct is out front. I should just Google this, but let me try one more time with brute force. Brute force approach, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put distinct out front here. But then again, distinct count. Cross our fingers. Man, I was really hoping I always underestimate my ability to get work done before my son wakes up. Okay. Query specify join fetching, but the owner, so it's the same error. It's the same error. That doesn't help. Let me just take this guy and pop this into, I have MySQL Workbench installed. I haven't talked about MySQL Workbench at all yet, but this is what we use to talk to our database. So if I paste this query in, and let me get rid of all the noise, the whatchamacallits, plus signs and the double quotes and all that stuff to have a valid query. Can I zoom in on this? Yes, I can. There you go. So it doesn't even like that. It says you have an error in your, yeah, so that's not cool. Oh, of course, because this is not SQL. This is from offer O, left join, fetch does not matter in that context. O.courses, oh boy. Oh no, how do we join between? Okay, you can do this. So, offers to courses, is it one to many? Let's check our tables. Offer, orders, offer, so it's orders. So I think I can say left join courses, or is it course? Left join course, C on O dot, or rather dot on C dot, oh no, offer course. So this is a, shoot, this is a many to many. Oh no, it's all falling apart. Okay. So offer O has to join to, is it called offer course or course offer? Offer course. So because it is a many-to-many association, that means there's a join table. So Spring Data usually handles this for us, but since we're just typing it out ourselves, we need to actually explicitly type all this stuff out. So we join from offer to the join table on the join table's offer ID is equal to O.id. Then we can say left join to course C on C.course, or C.id equals OC.courseID, because that has both in it, or both whatchamacallits in it. I don't care about reviews and user. This is all noise at this point. This is the main thing of what I wanted to do, right? So, oops, unknown column O and field list, offer O, unknown column O in field list? I guess it's count star usually. There we go. So, is that true? Are there 109 offers? And if I get rid of distinct, are there 109 offers? Select count star from offer. There's 157 offers. But that are active, where active equals true. So yeah, there's only 47 offers that are actually active, which we confirmed by looking at our homepage, which might not be, here it is. This has 47 offers on it. So, shoot, now my son's awake. Always at 2:30, he wakes up, 2:30 Eastern. Okay. So, I need to find a way to do distinct. So I see, let me read the comments. So return page, and in your client side, you need to specify the page and the total elements, which I have done. When you hit the next page, your UI, yeah, but I've already done that. So at the top of where was it? The course controller, or is it offer controller? No, it's course controller. Inside of course controller, at the top of our root thing, I created a page here, a new page request, which says give me the first page and give me 8 rows essentially with that page request. And I take that, assign it to a variable, and then I pass that variable into our populate model extracted method here, which then takes the page and puts it into the repositories, find all active offers, which passes in the page. And if I click on that, it has a pageable object here, which returns a page there. So it has all the elements there, but unless I'm missing something, right? So query specified, join fetching. So maybe I should select this and research it again and look for another. Join fetch means when fetching val. So join fetch val dot whatever. When fetching val, also fetch the link to val, but your query doesn't fetch val. It fetches val dot code. So for this guy's code, val.code from, and then join fetch. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm selecting the entire offer though. I'm saying select offer, or O from offer, and then join fetch O.courses. So that doesn't seem to be the root cause for me anyway. At least I don't think. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, I hate these kinds of according to Hibernate docs, a fetch join allows associations or collections of values to be initialized along with the parent objects. That is, of course, not possible since whatever isn't one of the selected fields. It isn't one of the selected fields. So this worked before. This query worked before I turned it into a pageable concept. Okay. I don't want to say select new. What was the first? Let me look at the first result again. Use regular join. Yeah, but I want to use a join fetch. Because if I don't use join fetch, then it is not performant. Dun, 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 dun. What you should do instead is specify a... Oh, good. My wife is going and getting my son up. Phew. That may have bought me some more time. What you should do instead is specify a count query together with it, assuming you are paginating the result. Below is the JPA query that takes ID as the param over here. It will cause the problem specified, and the second query solves this by adding count query to it. So they're saying value from table A, left join fetch A dot the foreign key field where A dot ID equals ID, A dot ID equals the ID that we're passing in. So how does that affect? So we leave that alone and select count A from table A, left join, blah, blah, blah. So literally it's the same thing. We just add a count query. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I might not be able to solve this on this live stream. It's unfortunate. I thought I could do it. Okay, let me just really read this error message. You never know. Query specified join fetching. Yes. Again, this join fetch query worked before I turned it into one that returns a page. But the owner of the fetched association was not present. So the owner of the fetched association to me sounds like the offer. It's saying that the offer is not present in the select list. Although it says the from element, explicit, not a collection, join fetch, blah, blah, blah. Class alias equals C. So the class alias of C represents courses. And like the whole, I think, is this an issue of the offer itself doesn't have a course associated with it, and we're trying to fetch it and it's causing a problem? That could be it, right? Where the course, we have an offer that doesn't have a course associated with it. Let's see. So we have active offers. So how would we find out? So if we truly have 47 active offers, of that set of offers, call it O, if we join the offer course OC on O.id equals OC.offerID. So don't do a left join, but a full join, or a inner join, sorry. If we do an inner join on that many-to-many association, do we now no longer have 47 results? We have 109. Does that make sense? Well, sorry. That just means that there are some that obviously have. So how do we find that? We need to say select star from offer O, where O.id is not in offer. Select whatchamacallit, offer ID from offer course, right? Essentially, and O.active equals true. No, so that means that because I think there's a thing on my end that you can't make an offer active unless it has a course associated with it. So then what is it complaining about? Class alias C, role equals coders campus domain, offer courses, table name course, table alias is whatever, course 2, whatever, origin, offer, columns, offer ID. So why don't I... What happens if I don't even do what I'd done before, right? So if I just say... If I just leave this here as it was, all we've done is introduce the concept of pageable and had it return a page. And then inside of the controller here, we don't do the concept of making or grabbing unique offers. So let's get rid of the concept of unique offers. Let's not cast it from, or not cast it, but let's not transform it from a page of offers to a set. Now get offer. Why is this upset? A set of offers. Oh, right, because it wants a set of offers. Oh, man. Yeah, because this is a page. Because we could say get content, but then it's a list, and it's still going to be upset about that. I don't think this is going to make any difference anyway. And then all offers.get content. And then what else is wrong? So this guy Right, so we'll have it say return a list. I'm making all these changes and we'll see what happens. Let's see if I can even boot up my server. So sorry, Olaf says, why rely on RossEqual if you're after lazy fetching? Why rely on RossEqual if you're after? So this is not RossEqual, right? It's JPQL. Change the signature of your method. Okay, first of all, let me just make sure that it's just returning the same problem, right? So query specified join fetching, but the owner of the fetched association was not present. Let me just see if it's still complaining about courses. Yeah, offer.courses. Okay, so how about we go in and look at what? Let's go in and look at the query, because this is the query that it's complaining about, right? So if we boot up in debug mode, we can see what it's complaining about. Oh no, we can't, because it's on boot that we can't. Right, it's on start that we're running into this problem. That's so. So I must. Is this a problem with my syntax? Do I have to just have a? Can you not have this kind of syntax in there for some reason? This is a JPQL situation, right? At query. So this is. And if I change it to just do a regular join, I could do that, and it will solve the error. But then it will probably reintroduce the other problem, which was the performance issue. So that would be maddening as well. So now query specified join fetch. So I'm assuming it's going to be the next one it's complaining about, right? So now it's complaining about R, which is the reviews. So in other words, it's not okay with join fetching. But for paging, why would it not be okay with join fetching? And in which case, if I'm not using join fetching, then I don't need to do all these left joins in the first place anyway, and we should just revert back to what we had before. There might be a way around it. So let me just get rid of the fetches for the joins, which again is going to reintroduce my performance issue, but now I'm just on my high horse and I want to get something working with paging. Yeah, so it boots up now. And if we go in there and refresh, now it's my performance issue, so it's going to be doing a lot of select statements right now. Oh, maybe not. Sorry, I'm hitting a breakpoint. My apologies. I'm jumping the gun. So if I hit that, does that even work? Yes, it does. So it returns page 1 of 85, right? So it shouldn't be 85 pages. That immediately tells me that I have an issue of duplicates, right? So basically, if I let that go through, you see that, yeah, our first quote-unquote page of data. So yes, it did work in that it returned 1 page of data. We have only 8 results, which is good. This is what we asked for, but they're literally all the exact same offer. So in other words, they're duplicates. And I'm assuming if I reintroduce this code here to do the unique offers and then change all the code back to what it was before, set tree set. Let me say terminate my server, import tree set with Control-Shift-O, and then change this guy back to being a set and say to set. So just sort of revert the code back to what it used to be. Now my hypothesis is we'll just see 1 result returned, right? But then I guess that's where you can do the count querying. Entity graph, maybe it's a really new feature. Yeah, entity graph it's true. I have looked at that before. change the signature of your method because you don't want to get all the data at once. This paging. I'm not sure I follow. So now if I refresh and get rid of my breakpoint here just to let it play through. Oops. Comparable. Why is it comparing? What's going on? Is that because I have a tree set? Yeah, probably. Yeah, it can't be cast comparable because I don't... Yeah. Let me just do a hash set. So I was using tree set there. How about a linked hash set? That way I have some sort of order. Can I do that? Probably. Hopefully. Reboot. Tree set means when you use a tree set is an order. It's a sorted set. So if you have a sorted set, the fact that you have a sort, you're leveraging the sorting mechanisms of a tree set. That means that the object that you are putting into your tree set, like I was before, should implement comparable, which would then explain how to sort. But I do not implement comparable because I don't have any sorting yet, so that's why it didn't work. So I switched to a linked hash set instead. Anyway, come here. So, boom, this is what I anticipated. But now I wonder if I can combine this with the count query concept, right? So if I go back into my offer repository and reintroduce the concept of, so let me roll back and reintroduce the fetches, which I will then have to de-introduce, just so I get the count query back, get rid of the fetches, which again will cause the performance issue, I believe, but maybe not as apparent because it's only fetching. Anyway, we'll see. I believe it will still cause a performance issue, but obviously I've been wrong before. I don't know if I need this in here or not, because I don't think that mattered. I think I just need the distinct modifier is all. Oops. Cannot create typed query for query with more than one return using requested, oh god, long. I think it's this, right? I think it can't have this as well. It needs to just have a count. It's probably what it's complaining about. I was giving it 2 columns and it probably only wants 1 column. More than one return. Yeah, because this count will be a long data type, unless the other one was a long as well. Anyway, we'll see. Not following, why do you need a custom count? Yeah, so this is a hypothesis that I'm testing to solve the problem of only having it return 1 result, but no, clearly it doesn't do anything. Yeah, so this is a good question, because I clearly have not, other people have run into this problem before, so there must be a solution to it, but now this stream has gone on too long, and I need to get back to my day job, so yeah. So the problem, to answer your question, Olaf, my hypothesis was the count query should hopefully return a proper count of 8, so it should hopefully give me a unique data set based off of the offer, although I guess that's not what it's doing, right? Oh no, it should be, because I'm saying distinct. Give me a distinct count of offer where we do all these left joins, because as soon as we introduce all these left joins, the number of rows that we get back keeps on expanding, right? Because I know we have 47 active offers. There should only be 47 active offers that we should potentially display on the screen. But as soon as we add all these left joins in there, that 47 number balloons to like 500 or something. So just as an example, I don't think it is actually 500, but for instance, it balloons to 500. So then what we want to do is we want to say, hey, instead of giving me 500 rows back, make it distinct. Give me just the distinct result set, which is based on hopefully offer. So just give me a distinct count for offer, which would hopefully then say, oh, okay, we don't have 500, we really do have 47. So then hopefully it would properly translate that into 8 rows here. But that's clearly not what is happening. So yeah, there must be a solution to this problem. Count name, count projection defines the projection part of the count query that is generated for pagination. count query name anyway. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do more Googling. You can try distinct. Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point. Let me get rid of the count query and instead say distinct here. Because that's what we are really getting at, right? The question is, will it know how to make it distinct? I guess we're about to find out. Nice. See? Thank you. Of course, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, that makes a lot of sense. That's what we were trying to do with the count query. We just make that one distinct. Okay. Wow. Yes. That is pretty much what I promised you guys I would figure out. It only took me exactly 1 hour to figure out. I guess that's not terrible in the grand scheme of things. But in terms of the performance, it's still probably not good, right? So if I clear my console here and then refresh the page and go back, you see all the different select statements that have to happen in order to display those 8 courses on the screen. So essentially, although we now have pagination happening somewhat, we've reintroduced the issue of having all these selects happening because we're not doing a join fetch anymore. So instead of because we aren't doing a join fetch, well, now hold on. Let's try reintroducing the fetch. Because because I'm saying make it unique, now it'll work. Has that one, or distinct, introducing the distinct keyword here, has that solved my problem? Let's find out. Come on, make it boot up. Fix my problem. One word, as it sometimes... No, it didn't fix it. So I'm assuming we have the same... query specify join fetching, but the owner... Yeah, I really don't understand why this is complaining. This will be obvious to me eventually. Once I figure out the root cause of the problem, then I'll say, oh, okay, I see why. But yeah, right now, I'm not in the know. I don't understand why it's complaining about the courses that relate to the offer. That the query specified join fetching, but the owner of the fetched association was not present in the select list. The owner of the fetched association was not present in the select list. What does that mean? The owner of the fetched association. Does that mean the offer is the owner? Is offer the owner of the fetched association? So it's saying that the offer is not present when we're doing a fetch on the course. It doesn't make sense to me that it wouldn't be there, because of course it would be there, because that's what we're selecting from in the first place. So yeah, that's a interesting one to me. Join fetch all data, and this is not the intent of paging. So I see what you're saying now. Fetch is saying get me all the data for all the pages, not just this one. So if I think about it that way, then yes, that would make sense, because it's fetching. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay. Yeah. Because it's fetching all the data for all the courses, period, end of sentence. But then the associated owner of that course that it has now fetched doesn't exist because we've cut it off with paging. Yeah, okay. I see how it's complaining. So the functionality of the fetch is not working the way I would want it to, because it's just fetching too much. Okay, so then that just means that I need to be more fancy with essentially a secondary query. So on a secondary query, then I should use the result set of this one, the find all active offers that's paged. In other words, only get me 8, or whatever the number is. Based on the 8 that I return, then I can do my join fetch for just those 8, and then I won't run into this problem. So that would be the solution, is after we've done the original join fetch, which is, I guess, right here, after we do the find all active offers with this page of all offers, we should do another query in offer repo dot, find all find all, not find all. This is find what? Find offers with, like reviews and courses, with courses and reviews, essentially is what we're doing. That's a super long name, but that's essentially what we want to be doing here. So I could just hover over this and create it. Anyway, I really need to get back to work. So this is so interesting to me, though. I love this stuff. I love learning new things. I love teaching them, even though I'm not doing a great job at teaching because I don't know this stuff myself. Join fetch, 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 fetch. And look at this. Look at all these messages I'm getting. Everyone's pinging me. Everyone wants my attention. I just don't have the time, people. So instead of saying where active equals true, meaning give me all of the offers, and that's what caused this problem in the first place, we could just say where something different, right? So where we could essentially get the list of IDs here. We could say list of long. We can say IDs, right? And we can say where o.id is in, and I think you just say IDs, right? I think that's how you do it. So then it just means this one needs to accept a list of IDs, and then it needs to return no longer a page, but instead you can have it return a set of offers. Okay, so then here we just needs to be passed in. We need to get the so page dot get content, page dot get, or not page, sorry, all offers dot get content, stream that, and then map from that stream, from those offers. I want to get offer.get ID, right? And then collect all those IDs into a list. Can I say to list? Oops, I guess not. What have I done? Collectors.toList. I need to do the static import of collectors, but anyway. So yeah, give me, to set. No, to list. I want a list of offer numbers. Okay, now my wife is starting to get upset with me. Okay, I really need to stop. Oh wait, why does it give me a set of offers? I want a set of, I said offer dot, what? I mapped it to, I want this. I want a set of long. Offer.get ID. I mapped it to, am I missing something? Get content, which is a list. Offer.get ID. This should map it to ID, which is a long, and I'm collecting. Hold on. Sorry. What am I doing? Find all, offer repo.find all. Oh no, this wants us. Yes, okay. Sorry. This is a set of offers. My apologies. Yes, my bad. This stream was inside of here, and this is what inside of here. It wants a list of long values, and that is what this is doing. This is giving me a list of long values. It's just with the way I formatted the code, it looked like this stream was related to this set of offers. So really, I need to make this proper, I need to move this over quite a bit, and it's going to go off screen, and that's kind of ugly, but I essentially need to put it more or less right here. So anyway, not the prettiest code there, but that will do what it needs to do, and then I can get this, say find all offer. Well, let me rename it to something different. Let me say just say, paged offers or something like that. So then we have this. which should be now replace. I guess we could call it unique offers. Really, that's what we're using there. So let's try that. And how did I? Sorry, I just accidentally deleted a bunch of code there without seeing the fact that I deleted it. Unique offers. Yeah, I deleted some of these blank lines, but they're not blank lines. They actually have code. Let me move that code back a bit. There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been long, but this hopefully will work. This will hopefully work. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. I really need to go. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to accomplish the paging as well as keeping my performance enhancement. No, name parameter. Oh, right. That's a simple fix. That's a simple fix. I can do this. These guys, because I'm using an older version, you need to annotate it with @param. And it'll be IDs. And with this, now I can reboot my server, and hopefully that should fix the issue I ran into. The 500 issue or error. Refresh. Sorry, refresh too soon. Creating, mapping, blah, blah, blah. Starting. Okay, refresh. Ooh, that looked better. Yeah, that was fast. Although it still looks like there's a few selects, but that does seem fast. Cool. And these are all unique. And then next step here, going forward, what I would need to do is I would need to introduce the front end aspect of this, which in other words, this is being hard coded right here. We're saying, give me the first page based on the fact that we only want 8 results back, which is why we have these 8 here. If I said page 1, what that would do is I need to recompile my entire code base, which is not what you want. You want this to be dynamic, this number here. But if you say page 1, that represents the second page in the multiple bunch of pages. So if I hit refresh, these 8 offers are going to change to the next 8 offers. In other words, the next page, right? So if refresh, boom, here's 8 other offers, which represent the next 8 offers in our subset of 47 offers, okay? So the next concept here is to allow this to have some sort of front end to choose which page you want, right? So that is where we will go from here and make this configurable, okay? Both of these numbers should be configurable. You should be able to configure how many you want returned instead of just 8, and you should say which page you want of the X number of pages that you could traverse or whatever. So thank you so much for sticking with me for 1 hour and 12 minutes. Hopefully you learned a lot. I know I did. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream. So as always, take care of yourselves. Happy learning, and bye for now.